Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hope you guys having a great day. It's Thursday. The weekend's almost here, so life is good. Labor Day weekends. I know a lot of people are happy about that. The long weekend to the kids that are back in school. So I got up and enjoy it now because when you become adult, life is going to get a little bit harder. So enjoy your time that you have now. Trust me, it is well worth it. But anyways, to the subject matter I have today, my little rant is going to consist of it kind of in a sense revolves around comfort zone because I was listening to something today and having a conversation with somebody today. So it just kind of made me want to get on this little bit of a rant today in regards to leaving your comfort zone, leaving everything that you've known. I always go back to immigrants because that's what they've done. They've left that, and even a lot of times an immigrant will leave a country that they're doing well in. They never talk. They always talk about the poor immigrant, but they never talk about the well-to-do immigrants that come to the United States of America and do even better because they're here, because they were already well-to-do. But they wanted to leave the comfort zone and change the course of their life and their family's life and the course of their existence. But they were willing to cross a border, cross an ocean to come here to do that. And you have a lot of people in America they act like if they have to do that or have to be inconvenienced, it's like it's the worst thing on the planet, because the person I was having a conversation with, I was like, okay, well, you're from a specific area, you joined the military, and you ended up here, so you changed the whole course and the whole existence of your life by joining the military, serving this country, doing great things, and now that you're in such a comfort zone that you feel like you should not have to be inconvenienced because you want to get promoted so your income can rise and all that good stuff. I said, well, do what others are doing. Leave this specific agency this office that you're working for, and try something different. Now it might require a little bit more work on your end, but it might be in your best interest in the long run because you have to look at every situation and every decision you make in your life as, well, if I do this, and this might change the course of my existence and my life and the life of my family. The list goes on and on. But a lot of people don't look at it like that, and because they feel like it's because they've done a certain amount of things and because they have so much time put in at an office that it should just be given to them on principle. And life just definitely does not work like that nowadays. It's just, just stop it. There's surveys on jobs when they say if you've worked at a job for more than 3 years, then that's considered like a record nowadays. And it's not because of the lack of jobs or people getting laid off. It's just you have a lot of right to work states now. So obviously Virginia being one of them, and my favorite state, California, being one of them, where employers can just get rid of you and not care. They don't have to have any reason or justification. They can just get rid of you. So, I have my own little feelings about that, but that's another topic for another day. I kind of get that, but I'm like, okay, well, just say the boss doesn't like a specific individual, even though they're the best employer on the planet. But because the boss doesn't like that person, the boss can get rid of that employee, and that employee ends up being unemployed just because of somewhat of a personality conflict. And I think that just sucks, to screw with somebody's livelihood. But it's one thing when you're a teenager in your early 20s, but I think when you get to a certain age, you need to have things in place so just in case something does happen with your job, you have at least one backup. It's in your best interest to have multiple backups, but have at least one backup plan because no job, and I mean no job, is promised today and it's definitely not promised tomorrow. But back to what I was saying, because I was listening to something on YouTube in regards to, and one of my favorite comedians, D.L. Hughley, said this. I never thought about this because a lot of people in my family did the same thing, and of course people from other families at the same time. He stated that, it makes him laugh that a lot of people right now are upset because a lot of jobs have gone overseas or disappeared because of technology and because of certain trade agreements. But then he states that, hey, a lot of people, great example, a lot of African Americans had to leave the South to go to the Midwest, the West Coast, and the Northeast because that's where the good paying jobs were at the time, And obviously there were some other issues involved, but I'm just going to stick to the economics of it all. That was considered the Great Migration during the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. They left the South to get better economic opportunities. In a sense, the African American middle class was created during that time period because, and especially America was there was more of a plethora of high-paid blue-collar jobs during that time in the United States. So it was a different country. It was an industrialized nation back during that time period. But I mentioned that because those people had to leave Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Texas, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia to go up there in order for them, and they had to take the risk of doing that. And you're talking about people that didn't have that much to start off with. So they had to go through that and to transition to the next level. And I say that they were able to do that because they took the risk. So when times being 10 times harder back then compared to now in 2018, I can't even imagine what life was like in 1948 for somebody, especially leaving the South and going to a state they knew nothing about. They didn't have that much family, but they took the chance and they took the risk to do that. And a lot of times, the majority of the times, they ended up being prosperous. And a lot of times, even some of those people, especially because they served in World War II or the Vietnam War, the Korean War, they were able to get a lot more money back and get their GI Bill, and they were able to get access to the VA for veterans and all that good stuff. So they were able to buy houses and they were able to purchase businesses. So they made a better life for themselves, but they did it by taking the risk. And I say that because life is not meant to be convenient. If it was, we'd all be billionaires and nobody would be working class or poor, etc. and so forth. Life is you're meant to be inconvenienced if you really want something really bad enough. And when I hear people complain about if you're living in a specific area and the industry has dried up, then that means you move to another area. That's just what it is. You have to end up moving to another area. People are leaving parts of the world because the industries are not there, or there is no industry there, or the industry that's there is not really satisfying what they really want out of life. And that's what you have to reevaluate. I always say people got to do at work. They make you do an evaluation of yourself, then they do an evaluation of you, a self-assessment. And I think everybody should constantly do that, like every week of their life, do a self-assessment of their life and say, is my life really heading in the direction or the way I want it to go? And if so, then fine, let's continue on this track. And is there any other ways that I can make self-improvements? And if not, then let me find other ways to make self-improvements. So it's a constant self-assessment of your life. And it doesn't mean, a self-assessment doesn't mean, oh, my life sucks because I'm not at this particular point in my life yet. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, doing a self-assessment, saying, okay, even if my life is great, hey, how can I make it greater? Because if you never appreciate your life, it doesn't matter how much money you have, it doesn't matter where you end up, you'll never enjoy it because you'll always be looking for that next thing. You can always want more, but you can still appreciate what you have right now, But that's what I think everybody should do. It's like, leave your comfort zone. Because if your life is still in the same position that it was 5 or 10 years ago, and you're dissatisfied, then I'm like, okay, well, have you been living in that same town that you grew up in? I mean, think about it. Are you still in the same job market? Do you think you need to go to another industry? Do you think you need to start a business, start a side hustle? Do you think you need to get a new group? And this is my biggest thing right now. Do you need to get a new group of friends? You need to go into different chat rooms on social media because they have them out there. Trust me, that's because this is how most people are meeting nowadays anyways. They're not meeting at a bar or meeting at a soccer game. They're meeting their kids' soccer game. They're meeting online. So do I need to have myself with a new class of friends, that think differently and do things differently? It's like, you need to do that sort of a self-evaluation because that's what matters the most at the end of the day. If you're in North Carolina, but you see better opportunities in Virginia, go to Virginia. If you're in South Carolina and you see better opportunities in Georgia, go to Georgia. I've heard instances where people lived in Louisiana and they went to Texas because there was better economic opportunities there. So it's the same thing. We have a lot of people that live that are from Pennsylvania that have moved down to Northern Virginia or Maryland because or Washington D.C. because there were better opportunities there. So the life begins at the end of your comfort zone. I don't care where you live. I don't care how you live. It begins at the end of your comfort zone. People that had to join the military and went to war and fought and died for this country, they had to leave the comfort zone. People that reap the benefits of being in the military, they left their comfort zone. They left the town that they grew up in, whether it was a small town or a big city. They rep the benefits, especially if they did it right. They rep the benefits from being in the military and serving their country, and as well they should. So it's the same thing. You have to say to yourself, what am I doing at the end of the day? If I'm in my comfort zone, if I'm just too comfortable, well, if you're retired, then this doesn't pertain to you, because then you're retired and you're not looking to, climb any other mountains. You're just looking to chill, get up, play bingo, and go to church and volunteer and whatever else you want to do. Hey, it's your retirement. You deserve it. Nothing wrong with that. I say go for it. But at the end of the day, I will say one thing, and I will say it with sincerity. For the young people and for anybody who's out there trying to start a new life, leave your comfort zone. Because your comfort zone can empower you a little bit, but leaving it can empower you a lot. And falling flat on your face can empower you a lot at the same time. Moving to a place where nobody knows you, this is the best fresh start that you can get. And I'm looking forward to that. Trust me. I'm looking forward to that fresh start for me and those around me. And I'm definitely hoping that you all are doing the same thing. Because I've known a lot of people that I grew up with flourish because they moved away. A friend of mine, she moved to Atlanta, doing great, at the top of her career, going overseas now with her career. Awesome. And that's just what it is. A lot of people that I grew up with, they just doing the same thing and they fine with it, and that's fine. That's your business. Like Woodbridge, Virginia is the beginning and the end for them, and I'm not mad at them. But it is the beginning for me, but it is definitely not the end. Okay, so, and you have to look at it like that when it comes to your current situation and your future situation. So that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed my rant. Next time I see you guys, I'll be on the West Coast. You see that big smile on my face, because that's home for me. So I'll see y'all later. Take care.